Hello again, and today I have a ramble of a commentary that I think will turn out to be pretty good in the end, but just as a special announcement for this commentary, this one in particular is going to be sent directly to the subject in an email because I think he deserves to hear it. And this person, obviously from the title, is Milo Yiannopolous, and Milo himself is the greatest thing to have happened to conservatism in the 2010s. Now, if you are very right-wing and you hate Milo, then allow me to explain why as a former progressive. So, as I've stated multiple times on this channel, I am a former progressive. I used to be a leftist. I am not a leftist anymore. I am right-leaning libertarian, maybe even bordering on paleo-libertarian. But with the kind of spectacle that was caused in 2016 by Milo Yiannopolous and his campus tours, he was able to just troll SJWs into their most primitive forms. The mere presence of Milo on a campus sent these fucking psychos into a tizzy. And that's important because nowhere else in conservatism, among anybody that is palatable, can do this properly. And it's because Milo has mastered the art of the troll. In the links in my sources, there is a YouTube video that is a podcast from the Ari Shapiro show. I forget what his show is actually called, but it's when he had Milo on. And all they did was talk about the art of trolling. And you really understand that Milo understands the art of the troll better than anybody else. And this is how he was able to make such amazing memes like Trigglypuff, like the Rutgers girls that smeared themselves in blood and fucking just started yelling out of nowhere in the middle of a speech. These are the kinds of people that Milo attracts into showing the world that they are just nothing but crazies. And this is important because these people would try to play it safe, would try to, be like the alt-right and pretend to be palatable, but they are not. They are disgusting individuals, borderline communists, just progressive feminists. It's just some of the worst. So let's get into the other 2 points that I have here, because the way he did troll the SJWs into their most primitive forms, I think is way more important, and I've rearranged as such in my notes. But with his articles on Breitbart as the leading tech editor at the time, he was able to dismantle every single stupid progressive argument. You could also hear this on his appearances on the Joe Rogan show, the way he dismantled Paul formerly from the Drunken Peasants, now probably being the Amazing Atheist little bitch boy. I mean, the guy just knew what he was doing, and he knew how to counteract this. And you can read more into why conservatives understand left-leaning arguments more in Jonathan Haidt's The Righteous Mind. It's because conservatives have had to deal with the left more than the left has to deal with conservatives. The left just kind of creates these straw men that surround conservatism, and it made people like me think that conservatives were nothing but a fucking scarecrow on a farm that had no argument, when in fact they had better arguments. And this is a more recent point as to why Milo was the best thing and still is potentially the best thing to happen to conservatism. And it's his no-nonsense approach to removing bad actors. Now, I believe in the summer, it was the summer, because that's when I had a Telegram account to begin with, he outed videographer / producer Kalen Robinson as a fraud, as a shill, and as a huckster who is trying to sell out people like Tommy Robinson to fucking organizations like Hope Not Hate and other leftist groups. And this is really important because no one wants to do that kind of hard work who is an established figure. And Kalen at the time said, "This is just your way of being desperate and trying to claw back to the top." But no, it's important to get rid of bad actors because they are the ones that are fucking up the movement, that are fucking up our chances of, restoring sanity to America and restoring sanity to the world. And so, sorry, bitch boy, but you gotta fucking go, Kalen. Fucking tranny fanny George or whatever his name is, Boy George. So yeah, this is important because currently we are, and by we I mean a lot of people who are in the quote-unquote sphere of dissident right, we're trying to remove Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, just this weekend, tried to physically remove Nick Fuentes from Politicon in Nashville. And it's disgusting because you'll hear him on stage be like, well, I support free speech and I think everybody has a right to be heard. And then he fucking bans Nick Fuentes for taking some funny photos at an unmanned Turning Point USA booth. Because, that's our stuff. And, like, my God, that guy is such a fucking loser egghead. And now we have expanded beyond Charlie Kirk to go after bad actors like Steven Crowder, like Dan Crenshaw, like Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire. And why? Because this shit is working. It is getting to them. And Milo is the only fucking super mainstream conservative voice, and by mainstream I mean in the Trump base, who is willing to call out people like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, and the softer headedness of Dave Rubin's placation to people like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. If it comes down to it, he might even turn on Steven Crowder, and he'll probably have the dirt because he's been on the show so many times. And he's willing to just say, fuck it, I am the reason that the president was elected. It was me and Stephen Bannon, baby. And all you fucking replacement retards are not going to take my accomplishments away from me. So, yeah. Before I get to the conclusion, I do want to state that who replaced Milo Yiannopolous? Very simple. It's Ben Shapiro. The establishment got rid of Milo Yiannopolous through using Reagan Battalion and some girl that claims to have sat on the quote-unquote pedophilia clip from the Drunken Peasants, which was just a botched answer. And, Joe Rogan questioning Milo on his sexuality. Again, it's a fucking murky concept, talking about your sexuality, especially if you're not straight. So it's understandable that it would be incredibly transgressive to, your fucking neocon faggot uncle. But, yeah, so the establishment then got rid of Milo, put in Ben Shapiro, and now we've had to suffer through ridiculous neoconservative arguments. We must go to Syria to defend Israel's interests. It's not really that bad to let in millions of migrants a year, unfettered, no time for assimilation, just let them in, baby. We need them workers at the bottom because none of those disgusting millennials are gonna do the kinds of minimum wage jobs because they're leftists. And it's just I'm so sick of fucking Ben Shapiro, at some point I will make that commentary. At some point I'll do the research. It might even be a high production Elder Rice video. But Ben Shapiro is the single worst thing to happen to conservatism in the current year. He is just trying to regress everyone back to the 2000s at a time where conservatism was literally the worst thing on the planet. The reason why conservatives have had this uphill battle is neoconservatism. So to try to reestablish National Review Order, to reestablish Weekly Standard World Order, just fuck you, Ben Shapiro. Just go fuck yourself. Go back to your home country and stay there because you clearly belong there. And so in conclusion, if you are not persuaded by my arguments, I'm sorry, but you really got to search deep down because no one converted more fence-sitting fucking center leftists than Milo to conservatism. You see it with people like Sargon. You see it with my favorite YouTuber, Louis Laveau. The first time they were ever probably in contact with lots of conservatives was through Milo. I know for me, it definitely was. It's the whole reason why I'm on this journey. of self-discovery in my political stances. That's why I have been led to more right-leaning libertarian, maybe even paleo-libertarian, if the fucking degeneracy doesn't just immediately cease soon, because it's getting out of control. And it's at a point to where, what will we be able to conserve as American society for generations to come if we don't stop these fucking progressives, if we don't stop these, kowtowing, cuckold neoconservatives that are just trying to co-opt the Trump movement? And, what the fuck are we going to do? And to me, I would say, if you're an investor out there, tread lightly on who you endorse, because they're never going to be as good as Milo Yiannopolous.